Hey, what's up, Ballsville? Welcome to the first installment of the Gauntlet Recap. Hope you appreciated that little intro video. It was pretty fun to make. I'm here with Mr. Christopher. Sorry for cussing. I know you see both of us in all your leagues, pretty active around here with you. Welcome in, Christopher. How you doing? How was your week in football?
Uh, it was so-so. Not such a great week in triathlon or in the gauntlet leagues, and then okay in the redraft. I was over 50% in the redraft and over 50% in the big game, best balls. So overall, okay. Hopefully, it gets a little better.
Yeah,
Uh,
amen to that. We had a few weird occurrences this week with some duds. Nobody saw the Jamar Chase bust for the week, right?
yeah, that was terrible. Thankfully, I'm only in a position to draft him every so often because he was drafted so high. So I didn't have all that many shares of him.
Yeah, same here. He was a guy that I was taking pretty soon, especially in some of the best ball leagues. I mean, it's week one. We know he'll bounce back, but to kind of come up with that dud, I played him in DFS, so that was a little costly. Um, anyways, this is episode one for Mondays, part of the Ballsville Network. If you guys have been watching, tomorrow we have live on the waiver wire with Jimmy. That's a great show. If you didn't watch the Las Vegas episode a week ago, that was pretty amazing to watch Jimmy, represent Ballsville down there. Made a lot of friends. So, welcome in to the recap. We're going to get into a lot of gauntlet talk. If you're in those leagues, formerly known as the triathlon, we'll be honest about that, but they're the gauntlet leagues. And right now, we are in the redraft portion of those leagues, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But just to recap some of the weekend, we have a little thing called the Ballsville. Where's this sucker at? This is a big problem with talking and producing. Here we go. The good, the bad, the ugly. These are going to be players that we liked watching during the week, maybe because we have them on our rosters. A couple bad players, and some real ugly performances that maybe don't spell the end, but they're pretty crappy to watch. Um,
Oh yeah,
Christopher, you have a take on your the good player of the week?
my good player of the week, highly rostered, was Zay Flowers. That guy actually put up some good numbers for me. How about you?
Mine is going to be Quentin Johnson. We all watched him Friday night. The whole world was watching, and it was nice to see because Quentin Johnson was a player that I was picking up in the late teen rounds sometime in some of these drafts. Um, he finished 5 catches, 79 yards, and 2 touchdowns, which was excellent. And so for the bad, you have a player there, Chris, that you want to talk about? Somebody maybe that you have exposure to that didn't really perform?
I have high exposure to Kenneth Walker as well, and he was a dud for me. Like they gave Charbonnet just as much usage, if not more, than Ken Walker.
Yeah, that's pretty painful to see. We saw Charbonnet in the year pretty dominant last year when Ken Walker was out. Um, so for your good players, A Flowers, I got a stat line right here. He had 7 receptions and 2 rushes, 143 receiving yards, 8 rushing yards, receiving touchdown. That's pretty damn impressive. Do you remember what round he was going in?
I believe he was going in the mid rounds, like 6 or 7, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been a little earlier, maybe a little later.
I think you nailed it. I think that's exactly where he was going. Yeah, Ken Walker, man. 10 rushes, 3 receptions, 20 rush yards, and 4 receiving yards, and not a whole lot. Okay, what about a ugly performance?
The ugly performance, that was Bo Nix. Bo Nix was my dud of the week for ugly duckling in Denver.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal, and he's a guy that was going in the middle of the second, early third. My bad player is going to be Matthew Golden, and that's more because uh, that Packers defense can all appreciate that. Um, but if they're going to be in games where they're dominating on defense and they're going to be running the ball to
You're cutting out, Alex. You're cutting out a lot.
oh, that's a shame. Not a whole lot I can do about that. Anyways, my ugly was Tua. So I
Oh
don't know if you
God,
have any.
I have some of him, but fortunately, not too many. So, and when I did take him, he was my QB3. So,
Yeah, he was one of the last quarterbacks going, next to the legend Daniel Jones down there at the end of your draft board.
oh yeah. Imagine my
Um,
surprise when I had Burrow going as my QB1 and Aaron Rodgers on my bench, tripling his score.
yeah, that's pretty rough, man. I mean, my saving grace this week was that I had a lot of Justin Herbert, um, and I have zero Aaron Rodgers, but I have a few leagues with Daniel Jones, so that's a pretty good win.
Yeah.
Um, so, anyways, that's our little good, bad, and ugly. We'll kind of recap on that throughout the week and let kind of just an early reaction to what we saw this weekend. Um, so, what we want to talk about is the Gauntlet game. If you guys are a part of it, then you already know how the rules go. But if you're not part of it, you can go over here to the website, come down to right here, the Gauntlet game, and browse through how the game is played. Um, we have the scoreboards active here, so if you want to see, who's leading, we're going to update those in the later weeks of the season. Otherwise, you can go to the tools section, and you can use Sticky's leaderboards once they update after the day, and you can see, how the competition is doing. That goes for all games, not just the Gauntlet game. But so right now we're in redraft, and what we wanted to talk about was the payouts. Right here, this little guy is going to take you to the cash stock, and what you're playing for is that number one seed, because not only does it determine your opponent for week 13, if you finish number one in redraft, you'll be playing the number 8 seed from the opposite realm. So if you're in light and you finish number one, you're going to play the 8 seed from the dark realm. Easier matchup. You get a chance for a bonus in that week 13 matchup. You also want to finish first in redraft because there's a $30 payout. And if you go to the bottom of the cash stock, you'll see our conditional bonuses. There's early dominator bonus right here. It adds a $50 payout to the highest point total in each legion. So there's 3 legions: the Romans, the Greeks, and the Egyptians, and you can win $80 if you dominate early, based off of those 2 bonuses. So that's what we're playing for now. Chris, how do you feel about the first 8 weeks of the Gauntlet League? How it's set up now?
It's definitely good for those who, especially for those who picked up players for Fab early, because
That's a topic.
yep, they're gonna be right in the running for both of these, I believe, unless a lot of heavy hitters go down.
Yeah, and we do have shallower benches there, so there is a chance to pick up players off of waivers. Next week, when we go in depth about things, we'll tell you about the players that were picked up. Players that are gems or might be league winners coming off the waiver wire. There's one every year, right? So it is something to play for. We don't have any kind of cut. There's no chop for redraft this year. Next year, after week 8, we will have 2 players cut. We'll have 12-team leagues for the Gauntlet, and it'll cut down to 10 teams after week 8. So there will be consequences. But one of the things we want to go over is our brass balls for this year. So what Brass Balls is, it's a bonus game. It's kind of the leftover sum of the cash we put up for our managers. You know, nobody really gets a whole lot, but we get a little something to play for. And instead of everybody getting a little bit, we set this structure up so that if you dominate in this free league, you get a little bit more than somebody that underperformed. Last year, I had the third highest payout of all Ballsville managers amongst myself. So you can win more than what I take, and it's not much, anyways. But we take advantage of the free league and we kind of create it to be whatever we want. And this year we're doing it as a pilot for next year's Gauntlet game. The difference here um, is that during the first 8 weeks, you're not doing a redraft portion. You're actually doing a pirate version. And if you look in the little background here on the bottom left, you're going to see a little pirate ship underneath Gauntlet Recap. There's a little Easter egg for you. So I don't know if you noticed that, Chris.
You just told me, and I just noticed for the first time, even though I've been sitting here for the last 20 minutes looking at the darn thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. There's a little, and then we have the chat going, but on the other side, you can see there's a gauntlet over here. So, you know, if we're going to be creative, it might as well have a little attention to detail and stuff. So,
Oh yeah,
but
that's sweet.
for weeks 1 through 8, we're going to have a pirate version, and Chris, you're in this. Do you want to break down how the roster and how the pirate plundering goes?
Yes. So in the pirate portion, in this version, the one that we're piloting now, since there's 14 of us, there's only 4 flex spots. But next year, when it goes to 12 teams per league, it'll be 5 flex spots. You're allowed to save 1 flex spot, but you got to tag that a player as Crossbones in the nickname section. So you put Crossbones under their name, and you get to save that player in a flex spot. And any of the other 4 teams, or any of the other 4 players in your flex spot, are eligible to be stolen. If you're the winner, you can steal any player in the flex spot that's not tagged with the Crossbones, and you can give them any flex spot in your section. So you can trade your worst player
Yes.
for their best flex spot. And that's how it'll run
Yes.
during the pirate portion.
So we'll take your matchup here because it's actually undetermined at the moment. You're going up against our friend Sticky Picky. Sticky Picky is not a game manager, but if you guys have been on the website and looked at the tools, you've seen all that he's brought to our format, and for providing you guys with these tools. I mean, the least we could do is invite him to this league, along with the people that are in all of the Gauntlet leagues. So for your matchup, still to be determined, he's got Justin Jefferson. That's all he has, Justin Jefferson, and you have a 14-point lead, it looks like. So both of you have your quarterback safe, Jordan Love, Kyler Murray. You have your running back safe, your receivers that are safe, your tight ends, and then we get into your flex spots. You have Ford, Waddle, Pittman, Jacobs, who is locked, and he has Judy, Metcalf, Chuba, who is locked, and McConkey, who is not locked. So if Chris comes away with the win, Chris can take one of his worst players in his flex, Jerome Ford, for example, and swap him out for McConkey, Metcalf, or Jerry Judy, and that's how we're going to play the pirate version. If this is an instance where Sticky knew he was going to lose already, maybe he benches that person in his flex, and they are no longer eligible to be plundered. So that's going to be the version that we're doing next week for the first 8 weeks. Chris, what do you think about that version? Oh no, am I still
I like
lagging?
this version. It's something different. I love different stuff. So if it's something that can pick up steam, I never thought last year's trial run would turn into what it's turned into this year. So I can only imagine how popular this Gauntlet version is going to be next year.
And again, we're going to have
You
five
know,
flexes. So the idea is week 1 through 8, you're going to be adjusting your lineup. You're going to be increasing power. And then you're going to get into the gauntlet weeks. And the gauntlet's going to play out the same as it is now with weeks 9 through 12 each. So this year in the gauntlet, we're only cutting 4 players because there's 4 weeks of gauntlet. And the lowest score, we switch to the score format. Before I get off of the redraft portion, remember that that determines your seeding 1 through 12. Now, during the gauntlet portion, we're going to remove players, but that order is going to stay the same. So if you're in the 1 seed and you're not eliminated, you will remain in the 1 seed. Um, okay, the game's coming back. So uh, Gauntlet stays the same, and then the difference between now and next year is that we're not able to convert all 24 leagues into a chopped format because we're aiming to do a best ball portion for the bracket for the end of the season. Uh, but for next year, we'll have the flexibility to convert to a chopped format and then just manually stop the chopped after the 4 weeks, and we'll have 6 teams entering that same playoff bracket, but it will be a lineup as opposed to best ball. Um, so overall, Chris, how do you like the format? What do you think the idea is going to work out?
I think it will. I think it's going to be very popular. I'm glad
Oh.
that I'm glad that Ballsville is getting into the pirate business. Let me just put it that way because I've been in pirate leagues for the last 2 or 3 years, and I just found them pretty entertaining. Yep.
Yeah, so this will be a cool little introduction. It's going to be one of the most the most difficult games that we have, the Gauntlet, for a reason. So the game's on, but people will come visit this later. Chris, let's get into to your portion here and talk about some of the hot takes that you have and what you've seen.
So I want to start off by saying the MVP race is already over. Josh Allen won it Sunday night. He won it. They had less than 4 minutes to go, and they were down by 15 and ended up winning the game in regulation. First time ever in NFL history with less than 4 minutes to go, a team has come back from 15 or more down and won in regulation. He's already won. It's his. As long as he stays healthy the rest of the year, he's got the MVP. That's
Yeah.
my hot take for him. Uh, Another hot take. Hold on, I forgot what they were going to be. Oh, Green Bay is going to be a problem in the NFC.
Yes.
That defense, that defense is special, and he didn't need time to ramp up. I mean, he was all over the field. Micah Parsons. That team is going to be
Yeah,
dangerous,
I know.
and Love looked good. Even with
It,
that injured hand, he looked good. Green
it's
Bay is going to be a
amazing to
problem.
think that they can win a game so many ways right now. It feels like they can win a game with their defense. They can win a game on the ground, through the air. They do look pretty dominant. I was excited to see this game because same division, and we get to see how McCarthy performs in the system. I mean, we got a glimpse of Darnold outside of the system, who looked. I guess he looked mediocre. Um, so we
Yeah,
get
he was
all eyes on
mediocre,
tonight's game. Yeah, so
and it's
people
not
say it's
looking
a
good so
O'Connell
far.
system. Yeah. So one of the hot takes that I had, I think I talked about it on the last time I was on one of these shows, is that I think Brees Hall is going to perform better than Genty this year and finish higher. How do you think that feels right now, Chris?
I think you're off to a good start.
A good start.
Good start because Genti. I think Genti didn't have the welcome party that he was hoping for. I mean, he didn't do terrible, but he didn't do good either. He didn't
Yeah.
exceed
No.
expectations.
Um. So, what do you think? You got another one for us?
Yes, I do. My last one is Jackson Dart will be the starting quarterback of the New York Giants by week 5. Earlier than they had
Yeah.
hoped. Earlier than they had hoped. Yep. I think week 5 they have an easy game. That's why I picked week 5. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's New Orleans, or
Okay.
it may be
Okay.
New Orleans. So
I know
that's
they
just
have
an
a
easy.
difficult schedule.
Easy week to put him in. Get him in there early.
So I like that a lot. Russell Wilson felt like he had very little in the tank left 2 years ago, and he just keeps on riding his own coattails somehow and getting a job after job. So he's a transition quarterback, and they're getting ready to transition. So I think, yeah, like you said, they're going to feed him to the wolves. They're going to bring Jackson
Five
Dart in.
5 years ago, he was on Hall of Fame pace. Now that's sailed for him. Now he's never going to get in now.
Yeah, he's got to hope for some kind of Aaron Rodgers like performance.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll get out of here and let everybody get back to the game. Chris, do you have any kind of parting words?
Everybody have a good season. Good luck this next week. Watch all the pods. Watch them. We've got a couple new segments coming up on the Wednesday show. It'll be a good show. Stay tuned and watch Jimbo. Jimbo on Tuesday.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch Jimbo tomorrow. There will be no football, and we can just kind of focus in on the week recap. And I mean, who doesn't have a good time Tuesdays with Jimbo? So thanks, everybody, for joining us. The Gauntlet Recap. We like to keep this one short and sweet, just a brief recap. Next week we'll have statistics and stuff to show you, numbers and player performances. We'll keep track of who our scorers are and stuff like that, and just kind of bring you the game as it unfolds. That way we have something we can kind of refer to next year and kind of chronicle how we got started on this journey for this particular game. So thanks again. And what was that? Pick six. There it is. Timestamp. Wow. Hey, go Bears, I guess, right?
McCarthy, come on, man. Come on, McCarthy. What are you doing to me?
All right, everybody. Have a good day. Thank you, Chris, for joining me. We'll see you next week.
See you.